you were in the Uranium Savages, which was called...
Well, originally,
yeah.
my side of it was a garage. There was a band. We lived in this house on over off the university, the Coyote House. It was the Sons of Coyote. Yes. And then there was this other guys that were hanging out with us. A lot of Houston immigrants. And in Austin, I guess it's still today that you meet one person at school, at work, especially you meet somebody from Amarillo, you meet a dozen people from Amarillo all of a sudden. You know, the same with Houston. Anyway, we kind of stuck together, and they were called the Uranium Clods. And we formed a band called the Sons of Uranium Coyotes. So anyway, and so it was just a stupid band, and we a lot of comedy, a lot of wigs, and a lot of silliness. We changed the lyrics to popular songs and current events, and they're still together. The band Too Dumb to Die. The Chronicle labeled them that a few years ago, but so it was a lot of performance in it, and we were at Soap Creek Saloon. We played the Armadillo, a lot of the honky tonks here in Austin, and there weren't that many. 6th Street was nothing.
Right.
And I was Eagle Pennell, the predecessor, or whatever. Before the Austin Chronicle, there was the Austin Sun, which is a weekly alternative paper, and he was doing a story on the band. And I had taken some acting classes. I was getting into acting at the behest of this girl I was dating, and I thought she sounds good.
Wait, how did that, really?
Whatever you say. Pardon?
She said, I want you to take an acting class.
Yeah, come with me to this acting class. And I said, sure. And I dug it. I mean, it was cool. And so I was at Dexter Bullard, Gaslight Theater. I forget where it was physically in town. But so I took to it, and I enjoyed it very much. Still do the acting. And anyway, he was doing a story. We're out there setting up a sound check at Soap Creek one, Halloween. We did a lot of Halloweens.
And can you tell them where Soap Creek was?
It was on Bee Cave Road, honky tonk in the hills. There's, like a bank. It's over there, one of those curves, and you can't find it. Doug Somm lived right down the hill. It was we were kind of the house band. We would play at Halloweens and birthday parties and Spamorama. We invented the Spamorama. But it's silly. And so anyway, Eagle had done a film on cowboy thing, a rodeo film.
Rodeo for the Rodeo Association.
Yeah, and he had a little something building his career. And I said, by the way, if you need an actor, I'm kind of getting into that. I'd heard of him, I don't know through who, but I'm standing by. I'm digging it, and if I'm available. And sure enough, not too long afterwards, weeks afterwards, we were shooting this little thing called A Hell of a Note, which was a 30-minute short.
And that was based on an article that had been written in Texas Monthly about based on a real life incident that happened at
Ken Featherston, a friend of mine, is an artist. At the time, I was working as a silkscreen printer at a place called Slow Printing Company. We did all the T-shirts for Armadillo and all the honky-tonky bands and stuff. When T-shirt was back when T-shirts were first invented. But T-shirt artists, it was at Barton Springs Road there where Uncle Billy's bar is now. Anyway, we did the Armadillo, and Ken Featherston was this wonderful artist that worked at the Armadillo World Headquarters, and a disgruntled patron had been thrown out and came back to the Armadillo and shot into the crowd and killed Ken Featherston. And he wasn't targeted, but it was orange. And so that was a story. That was the gem. That was the germ of the story that we took to when we shot out of Soap Creek Saloon. We had Butch Hancock was the band, and everybody we could just call. Everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
This town was like this. The hill country started at Benoit Boulevard. It was just amazing times looking back, and I'm one of those that sit around and drink beer and talk about the good old days all night long. But so that's the germ of the story, and it was two fellas. We were roofers, and we were roofing on top of another bar, Liberty Lunch, which is right next to where Lambert's upscale barbecue there, was Second Street District.
Which was a different kind of district when...
Yes, it was different. We were on the roof up there, and my first line in the film was, "Come and get it, girls, soup's ready." and I was hauling this bucket of tar up on this ladder all day long. And Lou was there.
Lou Perryman.
Yeah, Lou Perryman, my co-star in several of these Eagle Pennell films, and beloved lost friend, and we'll maybe get to him in a minute. But and Eagle, I think Wayne Bell was on sound, and that was about it.
And Wayne Bell's, I'm gonna just keep giving context here. Wayne Bell had done sound on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
So
and he was the sound guy in town.
Yeah.
I mean, he like that had the recorder probably. He had the mic. But so it was just shooting on this shoestring. We talked earlier about grabbing guerrilla filmmaking. We had this truck that was our truck. Jimmy Lee and I forget Lou's. Skeet. Very good. Yeah. I love it. And we're driving around, you know. In Rich Quick thing, roofers. We saw. I was relating this story years ago. I took a little. I'm over at ACC teaching this thing, and I gave a kid a ride home, and he was talking about early film, and we were on Lamar Boulevard. And back then, it's like the mid-70s. We're driving along. There's this truck, roofing company truck. You know, just a bunch of Mexicans and pulling a big old pot of. Tar, and they said, "Where you going?" And so we just followed them to this roofing job, and just got out, and just then we started. We couldn't rent a tar pit or truck, so we just grabbed that scene. We just tied it all in. Otherwise, we were on a roof. We didn't have anything but a roof and a bucket of tar. So it made the film, and to continue. Eagle showed it around and got some investors to do a feature-length film. And so about a year later, I went to Europe on a ill-fated honeymoon and came back, and he had raised this. That's another. Is that a good one?
No, that's not.
But he had raised his money, and all of a sudden they got a van, Maverick Films. They got the little letters from the hardware to Maverick Films. We were hot shit. But they'd written the script. He and Lynn Sutherland, who is from a famous Texas family.
Yeah, her aunt recently passed away, Liz Carpenter, and Lynn was really nice.
And that family, like many families in Texas, they just knew how to get things done.
Yeah.
And there was a phone call here, and she was the facilitator of everything. She got it done. Eagle, we'll get it maybe to Eagles, wasn't good with people, period, but especially women. But I remember screening a rough cut of Liz Carpenter after she had passed a few weeks ago. I was thinking back that we were in this little tiny room with a screening in somebody's apartment or something. It's Liz Carpenter, Eagle, and Lynn, and me. Anyway, back through it was a rough cut. And Liz Carpenter from the back or across the room going, "Is it almost over?" Oh shit! I can hear it. Eagles music. Just a minute. That was a long night. But so we shot this thing, the whole shoot match, which is a feature-length film that should have been cut a little bit more, but you couldn't tell Eagle anything.
It's on DVD.
Yes.
Actually.
And this is a box set.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set.
With the feature, the whole hell of a note, the short subject. First thing, then the whole shoot match, and there's also a thing called King of Texas, and the other ancillary stuff that comes with these now, about Eagle's life. His last project that he always wanted to make was called The King of Texas. I don't know that story much, but he drank himself to death in Houston.